Hello everyone, welcome to Linda Sue Plants for You. Today we're going to do, well, I've got several videos that I'm going to try to get out today. I'm going to try to do today and hopefully get out over the weekend. And this is the first of those. I wanted to show you my Hoya Carnosa Crimson Princess. She's got a lot of new growth on her just in the last 2 weeks or so, and this red leaf, it's starting to lighten up now to pink, but it was a really deep red when it first came out. Let's see if I can get a close-up of that. And I got really excited. I'm still waiting for my peduncle and my flowers. I had a peduncle on here about a year ago, but it never did produce the cluster of flowers that these get. So I'm hoping, because I'm seeing all this new growth on here all of a sudden, that perhaps that's the next thing around the corner. So keep your fingers crossed for me, because I've been waiting for a long time for that. And then this is a music box, a beautiful music box my daughter got me for Christmas or my birthday. They're a week apart, so I can never remember what I got for what, but and she's so pretty. And then of course my Hindu rope, or my other Hoya. I got this from my sister about a year ago, and it came in a glass, a tall glass vase, and I left it in there for quite a while, for too long actually. I have a video on how I got it out of there, and it was pretty nerve-wracking. I was so afraid I was going to cut the roots, but I did manage to get it out, and it is still, it's growing, but ever so slowly, but I know that those are typical of that, so I'm okay with it. And then this one I wanted to show you this is a cutting I got from, well, it was a cutting I got from Suzette, and it's the wider leaf Adansonii. I know there's another one that's even wider than this, but this is beautiful as it is. I love it. It's been growing like a weed for the past 2 weeks. Everything, all of my plants are really starting to grow really fast, and you know, I know some people laugh at me, people who don't understand the plant world, but I like to think of it as a welcome home present from my hospital journey there, that this is their way of saying, we're so glad you're back. So anyway, this I think I'm going to need to repot. I'm not sure. I want to do some research on that, because I think the roots on these grow pretty fast, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to need to get that in a bigger pot sometime soon. And we're going to go into the dining room. I have a few other plants that I want to show you, so just stand by a moment. Okay, and now I'm back at my work table here, slash dining room table. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is this plant right here. This is my husband's zebra plant, and he fell in love with this last year. We were at a Milliger's Garden Center, and he just thought that was the neatest looking plant, and it was pretty small at the time, and I was kind of reluctant to bring it home, because I've heard so many people say this is really a diva plant, and I just didn't want to have to deal with that. So we kind of passed by it, and then I went back and ended up putting it in my cart, and I thought, well, for Pete's sakes, it's one plant, you can help him with this. So I did. I got it, and I've been trying to make it a thick, full plant, but I haven't been having real good success with the cuttings. I mean, some of them are turning out, and some of them aren't. And this was just one stalk, one plant. So now I have, as you can see, I have 3, and I have a 4th. The good news is I have this, and it's, let's see if I can reach it here. It's loaded with roots, So I'm going to be repotting that hopefully today. And actually I'm just going to be sticking it in this pot. And I'm still pretty much down to one hand most of the time, so I don't know if I'll be able to do that on camera or not, but I'm going to try. So then we will have 4, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and then that 4th one there. And that's just about the right height too. It's going to bring it kind of halfway between the real tall one and the 2 short ones. So hopefully that one will make it, and then we'll just continue to do that until it gets to be a full pot. I finally found a spot for it that it really likes, and it's really right below a grow light, so it does like very, very bright light. That's when I started getting all this growth. So that's that one. And then we've got this one here. How sad is that? I don't know what this is, folks. This was one of those last winter, honey, let's go to the store. I really want to get some plants. And I get there and there's really nothing that I either don't already have or that I'm just not interested in bringing home. But then I found this, and it was twice as full as this is now. But this is one of those, I call it I'm not going to go home without a plant. It just didn't really do anything for me, and so unfortunately I stuck it on one of my shelves with a couple other plants that I don't know how to explain it without sounding really really mean, but I just put it up there because I didn't care about it anymore. And I know that's not nice, and I know that there are people out there that would probably really chastise me for that, but those of you who have been growing plants for years, you understand where I'm coming from, I'm sure. So anyway, I felt kind of bad about this, and I thought, you know, I really need to just, it's trying so hard to stay alive. I'm going to clean this up. So that's another thing that I want to do here shortly. And basically it was just lack of water. It was in a corner of my room that I don't get to too often, and you know, all the plants that are in the living room where I actually live most of the time, they get much more attention than my plants in the dining room, because there are days when I physically can't get to the dining room. So it's not a situation where I can get up every morning and go and check on my plants daily. I'm not always able to do that. So therefore I try to put the ones in my dining room that are not as needy, I guess, or ones that I really don't care about. Now, that's not to say I don't have some in here that I wish I could have in my living room, but I have no room, so. All right, and then moving on, this plant here, this was also a cutting from Suzette. Let's see if I can stand up here. This is a Philodendron Dubium, I believe it's called. And these leaves get really big and finger-like, but they're not, it wasn't getting, I don't think, enough light. So I am going to repot this. As you can see, it's in a very small pot. I think it needs a bigger pot, and I think it needs brighter light. But the good news is, this was down to no leaves. It had one little growth on it, like it does right here. You can see that. And I didn't think it was going to make it, but it did. And that came in a box that she sent me last year. Oh my goodness, she sent me so many plants. And it was really, really hot, and it got caught up in the postal, in the mailing. So, you know, nobody's fault. It's just a matter of circumstance. But it made it. I'm very excited about that. What else did I want to talk about? Okay, and then this one is the Hoya Biolata. Another cutting from Suzette, actually. And I want to do something with this. It's surviving, but I want it to thrive. So I think I'm going to pull this out of the pot and see what it looks like, and then possibly put it in a bigger pot. I'm not sure. I know Hoyas like to be more snug in their pots. They like to be somewhat pot bound, so I may or may not go bigger, but at least I can change the soil. and wash up her leaves and maybe give her a different space, because I think maybe she's not getting enough light. Okay, and then we have this one. Now, I've got another Ripsalis that's just, it's similar to this, but it's not the same plant. And I was considering putting them together in a hanging basket just for, space sake, for the sake of saving space, but I'm still not sure I want to do that. I think I might just leave them in their own pots, because when they start growing, they do grow a little differently. They hang a little differently. So I think we're just going to, I think I'm just going to check on the soil and possibly give it some fresh soil before winter and put her in a different place and see if she doesn't pick up growth. I had moved her from the dining room to the living room and put her in a south window. And she was doing really well until all the trees got leaves on them. And I don't know how many of you will remember, but our trees were dying here. And for the last couple of years, the trees that are on the south side of the house, the leaves were so tiny and some branches were completely bare. So it wasn't covering, it was still giving me a good amount of dappled direct sunlight. But this year, several of the trees they look like they did years ago. The leaves are full size and they're dark green and they're beautiful, and I'm so grateful for that. But that also is impeding the sun from getting in through my south window, so I'm not sure what to do about that, because I don't want to cut down my trees, and our birds are right under there, so they use those trees to perch on. So I have to try and think of something different here. Perhaps I need to add a little more LED lighting in my space there. I've got quite a bit now, but maybe I need something a little more, a little stronger, a little brighter. Okay, and last but not least, this is called a China doll. And she is so dainty. I just love this plant. When I bought her, she was a couple inches tall, and she's growing like a weed. And I have her in my living room, on that wonderful table my husband built me behind my sofa, and she's under pretty much direct LED lighting. Now what happened is she started to fall over, so I tied her, and you can see where the rope is, or the twine. That's that. When I put that around her, she was still standing up straight. But she's grown so much that the weight of it has pulled her over. But what I'm thinking about doing, and I would love to have some input on this, because I've watched many videos on bonsai, but I just can't seem to get the hang of it as far as what I need to do here. So if somebody has some suggestions, I mean, my choices are, I can leave it keep growing like this, which is what I really want to do, because what I do know is these stems will get, this is actually a tree, China doll tree. So it would grow into a tree if I stood them upright. All of those branches would be separate little trees. But I think what I want to do is leave it like this, and my only concern is I'm not sure that the stems right here are going to get big enough and strong enough, fast enough to be able to support the weight of these branches. So I thought about maybe just putting something underneath the branches under here to hold it up. And I'm sure my husband is very handy. He could probably make me like a wooden, I'm thinking maybe like a wooden some kind of upright piece of wood with a large V in the top that would this would cradle in that V, and it would balance on that wood. So I have a picture in my mind of what I think that would look like, and if I draw it and give it to my husband, he's most likely going to not only make that for me, but he'll elaborate on it, and he'll probably make it even better than what I have pictured. So that's my plan. If anybody knows anything about the China doll, and you can add some input, that would be great. Because I want to do the best I can with this plant. It's just, she's beautiful. And she's so dainty, and I love dainty plants. Okay, I think that is all I wanted to cover for now. Oh, I have one more here that I wanted to touch on. And this is my string of dolphins. And I don't know if you can see this, but I do have roots growing on here, which I'm very grateful for. This is a plant that my granddaughter's friend gave to her to give to me when I got home from the hospital. And it was beautiful, and it was huge, and it was healthy. And it seemed like it was in a matter of days, it just started to decline. And by the time I caught that, it was almost too late. This is all that was left for me to salvage. So I cut it off. There's 2 pieces here that I cut off. And I stuck them in water. And they are rooted now. So I'm going to wait till the roots get a little bit longer. And then I'm going to put them in a very airy soil. And get them back in the window. And gosh, I hope I don't lose it. I was thrilled when I got this. Because I've been looking for one of these for such a long time. And to get it as a gift, you can imagine how I feel about this right now. I'm very sad that that happened and in my care. So I'm going to do everything I can to bring this back to life. And that seems to be my story lately. Bringing everything back to life, including myself, right? So that's okay. We're all in it together. Alright, well that's going to do it for this video. I know there's not much informative information here, but there will be in my future videos when I go to repot them. In the meantime, I just want to stay in touch with you guys. I know a lot of you have requested that well, you're wondering how I'm doing or where I am, and that you miss me. And I miss you guys too, even though I don't get to see you all. I know that you're out there, and I know that you're praying for me and thinking about me and pulling for me, and that it means the world to me. So I'm going to do my best to stay in touch more often, even if it's just a little show and tell and not doing anything in particular. So, all right, I guess that's pretty much it for now. I will see you all in the very near future, or you'll see me, or you'll see my plants. And in the meantime, I hope you all take care, and if I don't get back to you before the end of the weekend, I hope you all have a very safe and happy weekend. And that's it for today. All right. Bye-bye now.